Okay guys, hi. My name is Washington and I'm the creator of a easy grass generator, and right now we are in version 1.3, and I don't know if you are aware of easy grass generator is a workflow that I try to create grass in Blender in an easier way using geometry nodes. And it's not made to be perfect and the most realistic grass, but it's supposed to replicate what the approach that you have in softwares like Lumion and Twinmotion for the grass used, mainly Lumion, because it captures the texture of your entire plane and apply it to the grass. So that creates a randomization that it tricks our eyes in a way that the grass looks really good. Okay, so I've created that and I've been using for a while in production here in the studios, and I just realized that that version that I had created, the easy grass, is not the most practical. It's not what I thought when you need to use that for a production, because I've been adding some options like adding sage and changing the texture for the grass, like painting, things like that that are not really useful for me in ArcViz. I don't use that much. I just need the grass. And some wild randomization in the grass, flowers, and I just decided to make it even simpler. I decided to create a simple version of the easy grass generator. And the main thing that drives me to create that was because I just realized that for most of my scenes that works well, but if I need to use the grass in a really large scene, and then Blender starts to struggle to calculate the grass, the geometry. I don't know, for some reason, when you have a mesh in Blender and geometry nodes is scattered in that mesh, if that mesh compared with Blender world is too large, Blender just hangs calculating that. I don't know what is the reason, and I have to tweak that in a way. I have to kind of trick Blender in order to understand that that geometry is not a big geometry but a small geometry, and then it just calculates. How I figure out that? Just testing here and there and doing like a bunch of back and forth. But in that results in this version of easy grass generator, which I will upload it this week for you that have bought it, and then you would be able to use the easy grass generator for a larger scenes. Okay, but the thing is, I removed most of the options that you have in the previous version because I thought that that wasn't really useful for this purpose, and I just want to have a grass, right? I just want to have a nice grass, a grass that looks good and that's easy to tweak off. So basically what you will get with your grass generator is easy grass generator 1.4 is this simple grass plane. Okay, this plane is scaled up above 1 version. That's what is making this guy render for a large scenes, right? So never change it, never apply, never press for example Ctrl A and apply scale to this guy, otherwise it's not gonna have it's not gonna work. Okay, right now it's rendering like smoothly, like totally smooth, right? I removed here also the options of type of grass, because actually for the grass you have here, you just can go to any of those materials which are applied to this plane. For example, ground, you go here, and then you change the texture here, and it changes the whole thing, right? You don't need to have a bunch of types of grass. That makes geometry nodes more complicated, and unnecessary here. If you want to change your grass, you just can go here, right, and select any type of grass. Let's say any type of grass, and this one for example, and that will be applied for everything. Okay, so that's the thing. It doesn't matter having types of grass here. Maybe it's useful for you, but I'm sure you want to create your own grass. You want to have your own grass, right? And it's not a big deal of having different kind of grass all over the place. Okay, and the options that I'm maintaining here were basic options, right? For example, the amount of flowers. You can like easily increase or decrease the amount of flowers. You're not seeing here because it's not rendering, but for example, you can put like, I don't know, 50, and you have bunch of flowers. Or you put 0, right, and you have no flowers. So there's no more option of flowers on and off because it's not necessary. You just put 0 and that's, you don't have any flower, right? If you put 10, you have some flower, right? That makes your life easier. There is no vertex painting anymore, so whatever mesh you added here, it will be added the grass automatically, so you don't need to paint on top of it anymore to get the grass happening like before, right? If you need a more complicated, more realistic and more complex way of creating grass, sage, you know, other weeds, you can go for the previous version and still will work pretty well. But if you need a quick grass for a large scene, maybe that's the best option. Okay, so what do you have here? You get basically all the grass with the viewport optimization on. Why? Because you can handle in your viewport easily. Okay, you can with your cooling option on as well, because now it's optimized to be showing just where this guy is, which is cooling super flow, is super low, right? That's grass super low. You can easily, whatever you have here in objects here, that will be the cooling. You can just duplicate this guy and you kind of expand the cooling here and there, or you can tie this to your camera, for example like this, and by you move your camera, the grass will be following. Okay, so that's the idea. However, you have the option to turn it off, just like this. Okay, simple, on, off, so you don't have that limitation anymore. But that's good for optimization. Okay, the other option is object removal. Still here, because that's very useful. And whatever you have here inside object removal, the grass will not grow here around this guy. Okay, so whatever you have here, the grass will adapt and will not grow going through this object. I preserve this because this is a great option for sidewalks and everything. Other than that, easy. You want to remove, just remove it, object removal, and the whole thing will happen. So no big deal. Okay, on, off, right, cooling on, off. All right, let's reduce the amount of flowers. Okay, so viewport optimization. If you turn it off, your viewport optimization, all your grass will be showing here, but that will kind of blocking your viewport to work properly. Okay, so that's why I will leave it here like this. Just send it to render and you see that the pairs that the grass blend with no grass. overall it will be very soft. Okay, let's render out and see how it goes. You see, it calculates really fast. Okay, really fast. So you don't really see when the grass blends with the no grass area, because it's scaled down automatically, gradually, and the texture blends with the other textures. So it's pretty straightforward, right? But that's not the only reason that this grass will render in a large scale. The reason is because this mesh is hacked in Blender. So in Blender think that this mesh is 10 times smaller than what it is. And then for some reason Blender can calculate and renders that. If it's not like that, it will hang. As soon as it passes more than 100 meters, that will kind of hangs, right? So those are the options. Wiriness still good because it's important to have those clamping areas around it, so I preserve that. So basically all the other options from the previous easy grass generator was removed and just leave it the basic, because I think that will make your life easier to create any kind of grass. For that I prepared a scene just to show you how the grass will behave for a large scene. So I created this scene and put a bunch of people here. You see how big is displaying. Okay, now we are gonna throw our easy grass generator here, and you will see how this will work. Okay, and I already have added my grass on my asset at the library, the asset browser. So I really recommend you guys to learn how to deal with this, because this is very handy and easy to do. So it's a collection. I'm just gonna throw my collection here, and my grass will be automatically added to my scene. Okay, so now I have my grass here. All right, but I really don't need this guy here as a collection, so I will just delete it. Go here to my Blender file. That's how I'm doing. You don't need to do anything. You just need to go to your easy grass generator, like here, copy, here, copy, go here and paste, right? Go here and paste, and you will have that here. I'm doing this because that's how I work. Okay, so I go here and my easy grass superflow, make sure it's this, and then I link to my scene. Voila, so my grass now is here. Okay, I just need to get this guy. See here, okay, so I don't want my assets, none of these. Okay, and I just have my grass here. So I will bring my grass right over here, so grass is not even showing anymore, because the cooling is here. Okay, the only thing you have to do when you have your grass here in your scene, right, is to don't worry, because I will leave this grass smaller for you to play around when you put in your scene, not the big plane, because the big plane it hangs on the viewport. The only thing you have to do is add your mesh. Let's say that's your mesh. You get your mesh, here. Let's say that's your easy grass superflow. That's your easy grass. Okay, you just need to get your mesh, select here, and combine. Okay, you just need to combine. Ctrl G, and now they are both same mesh. Remove the ones that you don't like it. Now if you turn it, your grass on, your grass will show up here, near to the cooling, right? Because now you have a cooling going on, so if you change the cooling, the grass will just follow it. Okay, if we go to our camera, we see the grass is, maybe that's not what we want, because we want the grass going farther than this. Okay, so you just go to your cooling range and expand this to maybe 10, and the cooling range will be expanded, right? Guys, if you try to render this out in Blender, right, this amount of grass, the volume of grass you have it here, that will hangs, that will really hangs, right? But let's try here and see how it goes with this large scene, this large plane. Okay, and we just checked, this guy is 7 by 7 by 7. Okay, so let's render out and see how it goes. If wasn't that tricky that I prepared for you, Blender would kind of be in this screen forever, calculating forever. But now it just can move on and render the whole scene. As you can see here, it's calculating, it's taking in account the geometry. If it wasn't that, that would be hanging a lot at this guy and would never go for the BVH calculation and so on, right? But right now you will be able to render big and large scenes using a bunch of grass, because now Blender is moving forward, and you can see it's not gonna take that much of memory to render out everything. It's just taking 1 gigabyte, around 1 gigabyte, 2 gigabytes, 3 gigabytes. You see? And it's rendering. Oh, the reason you don't have the grass going on here is because I removed the materials by mistake. I shouldn't be removing the materials, but as you can see, the grass is happening all over the place. You see, and it's being able to render in a large, really large scene. I will just add the texture here again, so you guys will be able to see. So take these guys and add the ground, easy grass ground. There we go. Just add it here, right? I like to, after I define this, I like to remove from the viewport so it's easier. Now if we render, we will see the grass will blend perfectly, right? And that's how you will be able to render large, pretty large scenes using easy grass generator, super low. That's how I added super low, because I've been working as well in the grass to being able to reduce even more the ability of having low poly grass going on your geometry node and still look like good quality of grass. Of course, this grass is not the kind of grass that you want if you are really close in having a close up in that grass. If it's a branch and you have to really see that grass in close up, I would recommend you to have a better quality. But for the overall scenes, that works pretty well. You see? You see the grass goes here and it blends with the part that has no grass in a way that you can't really see what's going on there. And it's pretty large. You see it's going far away. Okay? And you have the object removal here, the circle, wherever you add on the object removal will be removed from the scene. And you see it renders pretty fast, like, you know, it's not taking that long. And voila, composition going on. Okay, that's it. That's the new version. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you can create large scenes, use this grass, and make your life easier, right? If you need more, more detailed grass, for some reason you are seeing your shot is a close up to the feet or something like that, you may go with the other easy grass generation, the previous version, not the super low. And if your scene it's not that big, you just have a couple parts on your scene with grass, I will recommend you to do that. Another tricky for you to being able to render this scene faster and helping Blender to avoid calculation is if you, for example, divide. If you divide your grass, right? Let's say if you divide these guys, different grass, and now, for example, you take this, select everything, and separate. So now you have different parts of your grass. Probably Blender will calculate better. For example, if you have the other easy grass generator, if you want to use the previous easy grass generator, which has a bit of a better quality in terms of close-ups, you can use it and make sure that you divide your mesh and have your mesh not that large in the Blender environment. So right now, if I try to render this, you see that Blender goes way faster now because it's taking just pieces of the glass, pieces of the geometry to render out the grass. Okay, so the parts that there's no grass, it doesn't take longer and Blender will be able to render. Otherwise, Blender will be just stuck it there and will never render, right? And it will render the same way. See? That's another possibility. If you want to render huge scenes using the previous easy grass generator, make sure that you don't have a super large geometry in just one piece. Just divide it by a couple pieces and that will help Blender to calculate. But using this easy grass generator Superflow that I'm releasing this week, this one here, you don't need to do this because I'm sure that will render. Okay, I hope you enjoy it, guys, and having a good workflow with this guy. I think this guy is easier, right? You don't have that much options, you don't need that much options. If you need just the grass, just use this, will make your life easier. Okay, see you soon, and don't forget to share your work when on my Facebook or on my email. Just I'm curious to see what you guys are doing with it. Okay, bye bye.